All right. 3, 2, 1.
3,
3. And
2.
Wait. And then we 3, 2, 1, and then we clap. Remember the clap.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And 3, 2, 1.
So, hello Morgan.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Not too great, to be fair. It's been a tough week.
This week you're on holiday, right?
No, so that's the thing. Because of the lockdown, I had to think long and hard about what I wanted to do, and I decided that there was no point being in lockdown and being at home and not doing anything, you know. So I decided to cut my holiday short, and I started going back to work on Tuesday. So I've been working remotely from Tuesday onwards. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's very, very, very tiring to work European hours while being in Asia. At the moment, my working schedule is something like 2 to 10 every day. And it's not as simple as just shifting your working hours from 9 to 5 to 2 to 10. Like in principle, it's just starting the day later and just finishing later. Yeah, like in my head, it's as simple as just instead of having free time after work, you have free time before work. But the reality is very different, I feel. I don't really know how to describe it, but I feel like when you're working in the morning and then you have free time after work, it's like you've used a lot of your energy during the day, and then you get to recuperate after you've worked. And then when you're recuperating, you're relaxing, you're having fun, and you just regain all the energy in the evening again. And then you go to sleep and you feel very well rested, and then start of a new day, and bam, you're ready to go work again. If you start your day later, I find that it's very difficult for my mind to grasp the idea of not having any free time after work. Because when I finish work at 10, like I could just, stay up until the middle of the morning. But I don't really want to. I would want to go back. I want to go to sleep immediately so that I can wake up early the next day.
So, are you a morning person?
Yes. Well, I like to say that I'm a morning person. Expectation and reality are two very different things. I feel like I'm working the night shift basically. And I'm aware that there are many people out there who have work schedules like this, A friend of mine works 7 to 7. Like she does 12-hour shifts.
Is it like is it like a support role?
Yes, it is a support role. So either she's on the morning shift or the evening shift. And this changes every 2 weeks, So for 2 weeks, she's doing the morning shift, so 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then 2 weeks later, it will shift to 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I know for a fact that I would not be able to do this job at all.
Yeah, man. It just screws up your biological clock, right?
Yeah, but for her, it seems to work. She adapts to it very well. So, yeah, hats off to her. And I've also known many people over here who have worked, European time, where they start work at 3 p.m. and they finish at 11. And yeah, I completely understand now how extremely draining this schedule can be. Yeah, I guess like if I was living on my own here, it would be easier sort of to just choose whatever time I want. But at this very moment, I'm at home in my family's house, so it's not really so easy to do that. And yeah, it's just been really tiring. I keep on getting into this cycle where I want to sleep early after work so that I can wake up early the next day. But after finishing work, I just find myself feeling like I don't want to go to sleep straight away. It's like I just finished work. Why don't I want to go to sleep straight away? I want to have some free time. I end up sleeping late and I end up waking up late. That's not a rhythm that I want to get into. Yeah.
And the cycle continues, right?
And the cycle continues. Yeah, it's only been 4 days, so like it's not I can still fix this. I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me.
Did you manage to fulfill your appetite for Malaysian food? Although you may not able to visit and sit down in a restaurant, but at least you can order it, right? Or you can actually go there.
You can always take away. Yeah, you can always take away food. Yeah. Well, that's one thing I'm quite happy with. Yeah, in terms of the food, I have been indulging myself in Malaysian delicacies again. So absolutely no complaints on that front.
I haven't asked you about what's the first meal that you ate after you came out of quarantine.
first meal I ate after I came out of quarantine was my mom's cooking. She made this dish called Ketupat Sotong, which
Can you describe what's ketupat?
let me Google that.
Oh, come on, man. I know why. Isn't it like the triangle one? Where it's like weave one and then it's like rice?
Yeah, it is.
It's like sticky rice, right?
It is sticky rice, yeah. So it's sticky rice that comes packed in like a rectangular shaped pouch. I think it's from palm leaves. And the pouch is made of palm leaves. And the problem is I don't know how it's made, so I have no idea to describe.
So it's a ketupat chicken, is it? Curry chicken?
No, ketupat sotong.
Oh, sotong, sorry. So it's like sambal sotong?
No. So that's the thing, this is not a very common dish, I would say, here in Malaysia. The ketupat is stuffed inside the squid. It's cooked together, and then you get this amazing mix of like squid and ketupat with the gravy, with what else is there?
You have to describe what kind of gravy is it?
Okay, so the ketupat is stuffed in the squid, and then it's cooked with lemongrass and coconut milk, santan. What is santan? Coconut milk, right?
If it's diluted, it's coconut milk. If it's more concentrated, then it's coconut cream.
Yeah, either coconut milk or coconut cream. Yeah, you just cook it like that. The color of the squid kind of bleeds naturally into the dish itself, and you end up with this very light purplish color dish. In my family, it's a delicacy. That's one of my favorite dishes, I would say. That's the very first thing that I had after I got out of quarantine.
If I remember correctly, your family is from Johor, right?
No, we used to live in Johor.
Yeah.
My mom is from Perlis. My dad is from Terengganu.
So it's a special local dish from Perlis or Terengganu. I'm not too sure about that.
I think it's from the East Coast, yeah, not the West Coast for sure. Yeah, it's not very I've never even found it or here in Selangor or Johor, like at any restaurants or anything. I've never seen it, so it's not a common dish.
All right. But when your mother calls it in a local name, it's just ketupat.
That's the name that I know it as. So that's the first thing that I had. Yeah. Then I spent 2 weeks being free-ish. Spent time with my family. Yeah, lockdown.
Spending a lot of time indoors, right?
Well, yeah, still it's indoors, but at least you could. It wasn't a full lockdown. Shops were still open. You could still go around. There was no limitations to how far you could go, just as long as you stayed within your district. And as you know, if you're in the Petaling district, it's very big. You can basically go. It's big. I could have went to IKEA. Could have went to Wanatama. All of those places. Yeah. Then a full lockdown started, and I had to think about what my plans, about how it would affect my plans. And I decided to go back to work. It's been really tiring. It's just been really tiring going back to work. But I feel like I have no other choice, because what else am I going to do? We're just going to laze around here for 2 weeks? I don't know. I would much rather work now, so that if the lockdown is lifted, then I can continue my holiday afterwards. Because I basically cancelled 3 weeks worth of leave to go back to work. So I still have those days that I can use afterwards. So now I don't know whether to change my flight back to later or not. If I do that, then how much later? Because I don't want to change my flight back twice.
This is what I can tell you. It's the best case scenario. If everything is sorted out within these next 2 weeks, even, the first green light would be that people are allowed to travel between districts, but we still can't get out of state. If that's something that you're okay with,
I'm okay with that.
Then you can think about extending your holidays over here. Best case scenario, which I don't think at the situation right now, I don't think that would be the case.
I agree. It seems very unlikely.
Yeah, because if I'm in your position, I would be like, actually, if it's just staying within Selangor, I think I'd rather just go back to work. I don't know.
Go back to Amsterdam and work, or stay here and work?
Go back to Amsterdam to work. Because, I don't know, man, like Selangor, it's like, yeah, it's fun for the first weekend too, but I want to go to Malacca or Penang, or other states and stuff like that. Not too sure about you.
You're not wrong. I would love that. But yeah, I mean, well, I'm also quite lucky in the sense that most of my friends are in Selangor. I haven't gotten a chance to meet anyone yet. I think it would really be a shame to not get a chance to meet anyone. Like you, for example. I haven't even gotten a chance to see you, man.
Yeah. Haven't seen that beard and all of that in real life. The beard that you have.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I would want to do that before I go. But yeah, I don't know. So I think most likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until the 14th of June, see how things are then on the 14th of June. If they are going to extend the lockdown, then we'll see what additional information they can give. The top idea in my head right now is to just delay my flight back until the end of July, actually.
Have you checked with custom that are you allowed to fly to Amsterdam?
No, but as far as I understand it, airports are still fully operational. Malaysia hasn't changed the restrictions on whether people can leave or not. So you still can't leave for tourism purposes, but if you can show that you have a job abroad and that you have a residency abroad, then you can still fly out of the country.
Because from what I heard is that sometimes even if you want to go out to study, you have to prepare some documents to show this and show that.
To prepare quite a bit of documents, yeah. Correct, yeah. If you're going to study, it is a bit more difficult as I understand it, but yeah, if you can prove you have a job and you have residency, then I think it's fairly straightforward. Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty right now in my life. So, next question then becomes, how was your week, Morgan?
It's just a sudden realization that actually we are already halfway through the year already, if you realize.
No, we're halfway through the year after June
June
is done.
It's June what? Yeah. I mean that we are hitting the June mark, which means that we are halfway through the year already, almost.
Almost, yes. But if you want to be really pedantic, it's only halfway through the year on the 1st of July.
Yeah, almost, man. Like this is just schematics, man.
Yes, I understand. But yes, go on.
This is not how I imagine how I'm gonna spend 2021. I have goals this year about trying to learn web. Actually, it's doing quite well, but it's just very frustrating because a lot of like basic stuff takes me a very long time to get a hold of it. That's my frustration during lockdown working on web. If I'm working on Android, then perhaps I'm a happier person. We're working on something you're familiar with. But hey, this is the yearly themes that I set for myself. So far, I'm quite happy, although the progress is a bit, at least like 2 steps.
So what have you done this week in terms of like this, specifically for this goal? Has there been something that you've done in terms of the goal?
So I've managed to publish a to-do website.
Wow.
It integrates into Firebase and you can have multiple users, which means that whenever you create an account, you can just have your to-do list. You can mark it as done, you can mark it as favorite. And my long-term plan for this is maybe next time you can share your to-do list like a collaboration with another person.
You're basically making a Notion competitor, aren't you?
I'm trying to do something simple, not trying to do overly complicated, because I feel like sometimes when you are, for example, when you and your significant other trying to remind each other stuff, and sometimes you just forget it, and I feel like it would be helpful if you have a shared list that you guys can remind each other about stuff.
Last thing I want to do is to discourage you from this idea, but isn't this basically what a shared reminders list is for?
Yeah. But the goal of this thing is trying to learn the web technologies. Like how do you integrate Firebase?
Understood,
how do you work Nuxt and stuff? It doesn't matter whether is this idea like is on the market already. I think it's just a good way to, as a stepping stone for me to step on before I tackle bigger projects.
Very true. Can I visit this website?
Yeah, you can go to getduriseo.com. Getduriseo.com. So it's DURISEO.com. So it's getduriseo.com.
Getduriseo.com. Type your tasks. Oh, this is very material. Log in about. Made by Morgan Co. What is Duriseo?
Duriseo is like it's Korean for someone that you want to call someone dear. It's the equivalent of dear. Ah shit, this is gonna sound cringy as because you know the idea between this is that you're gonna share with your significant other, right? So how Koreans call their significant other than baby, it's Duriseo.
I see.
And it's a cute name, cute name, so I put it there. So yeah, my profile of holding domains is stockpiling up, man, for side projects like this.
How long ago did you buy this domain?
I think last week. I only launched it last week.
Okay, yeah. So you bought this domain specifically for this project. I thought you already had this domain lying around and then you thought, okay, let's use this for that.
Nope. You always ask me about how do I get motivated to build stuff or side projects of my own, right? So this is one of the few things that whenever I publish something, you can see that achievement, so that push you to do even more side projects. So although this getduriseo.com is a bit simple, but it gives me the confidence to do even more. So now I'm jumping back to Whoadunit, which is the website that I talked about, where I'm trying to find your parliament representative details in Malaysia. So right now I have an MVP online right now, whoadunit.com. So right now I'm just trying to do like a makeover. So it's like Adunit 2.0 with the stuff that I learned from Duriseo.com.
I'm checking out your website too, Whoadunit.
ADUN, ADUN.
Well, did you do all this copy yourself, by the way?
Yep.
Very nice.
I think it could be better. That's all I can say.
I mean, first impression is that this looks like a very professional website.
Thanks, man. This is entirely built on Vue.
Wow.
So a lot of components I write myself.
Really?
So right now I'm trying to move. So I'm trying to move to Nuxt is like a framework for Vue, and it does a lot of fancy stuff like search engine optimization.
CEO, yeah.
SEO.
SEO. What am I saying? SEO.
SEO. So when Google is trying to doing some optimization, right, it would take a snapshot of your website, right, and try to analyze what's the stuff over there, and then they can crawl the data, and it will actually optimize for people to easier to search for your content. So stuff like that, you need some offline caching. So which means that when people crawl your website, the information is there already. So you need to be like preloaded. I forgot what's the actual name called.
AMP probably. Accelerated Mobile Pages.
No. AMP it's a Google thing. So basically Nuxt is has a lot of features like search engine optimization. So it makes your website much more discoverable. Oh my god.
How do you spell Nuxt? Because if I Google Nuxt, I get a wrapper.
Nuxt.
Nuxt.
Then you can type Nuxt
The
JS.
intuitive view framework, Nuxt JS, yeah. Doesn't it scare you to use these very new? So I'm not up to date in terms of web development, but
because it's built on top of Vue.js, and Vue.js has been there for quite a while. I think it's pretty solid. I think it's being recommended by two of my friends. When I told them about, hey, like I'm building Vue, then they're like, hey bro, why are you using Vue? Use Nuxt, man. Then I'm like, isn't that scary? Because you are building, because Vue.js is a framework already, so you're building a framework on top of a framework. Yeah. Then they actually said that actually Nuxt helps you to streamline a lot of development in terms of Vue, and it's quite similar to Vue. It's just the structure of it. It's like
that doesn't actually solve your concern, yeah, because it is still true that you're just building. But I guess this is software, you know, and you always build stuff based on what other people have built, and you have no idea how many layers deep you are.
Yeah,
and I guess especially also for the web, it's not like doing mobile, you know, where on mobile, at least both manufacturers or both platform owners, I guess, Apple and Google have sort of provided quite a lot of standard frameworks for you to use. But on web, as far as I understand it, as a non-web developer, it's a bit of it's the wild west, right, in the web development world.
I think currently it's a lot more streamlined already, because now the two big thing is React and Vue in terms of JavaScript frameworks. So
really, React? What about Angular? What about?
Yeah, I think Angular can be a part of it as well. I don't know. When people talk about JavaScript, I'm not sure whether Angular is part of the conversation or not. So before I settle on my mind on trying to focus on Vue, is that React has been a pain in the ass to develop for many years. And that's why people came out with different frameworks like Vue. And Vue seems to be promising because it's quite lightweight, and it solves a lot of pain points when developing for JavaScript framework. And so far, I'm quite happy with it. It's just that I wish that the layout CSS can be done a lot better, because it's still a pain then, it's still a pain now. But right now, I'm using Tailwind CSS to help me do a lot of layout thing.
Yeah. But
So
I guess... Yep, go on.
Tailwind has some, from our perspective, we are mobile app developers, right? So Tailwind is finally something that's familiar to me, that you can add paddings, you can add gravity, you can add text alignment through the class. It's like a framework, because Tailwind CSS is a framework. So they actually build a lot of these helper tools, helper utility tools that help you lay out stuff that reminds you a lot of mobile app development. That really helps a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the demo that I have on the website. It looks very similar to applying what do you call it on Android? Applying constraints. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually some of the stuff actually quite intuitive than the XML that I'm used to. But of course right now you got Compose UI, right? So that changes things. So yeah, quite happy with my web development progress right now. And yeah, that's my week and my mid-year report as well.
Your week and your mid-year report, yeah. Well, I'm happy to hear that you're making a lot of progress on this. Yeah, I guess one thing to also remember, like when you're learning something new, I mean, it's important to not get caught up as well in terms of trying to find what is the best framework to use, or like what is the, like, just get started, you know? Just get started and get it done, yeah.
Truth be told, I actually started out with Angular. And it's freaking alien, man. It's like Cantonese to me, man. You know, do you know that I can't understand Cantonese?
你唔識廣東話冇?
我唔識廣東話. That's all I know, man. Whenever I go out, it's like 我唔識廣東話, and then we can move on. Man. I'm raised in a Hokkien household because I'm from Klang.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. I mean, it's a different dialect, you know. There should be no expectation that you can understand Cantonese. Yeah.
And my Hokkien is not very stable. It's like I understand Hokkien and I just mix it up with Cantonese. And then I can't differentiate the line between Cantonese and Hokkien, and just screws things up.
Language is difficult, huh?
Yeah.
Especially over here, I guess, yeah, where things just get mixed up, and we do mix a lot of languages together a lot of the time. So
Yep.
Yeah. Challenging.
So Angular to me is like Cantonese to me. It looks familiar, but I totally can't get it. But somehow when I move to Vue, right?
That's funny.
When I move to Vue, somehow it's more simplified and more understandable. I really love to develop on Vue comparatively to Angular. This is our week, surviving COVID-19 lockdown in Malaysia.
First lockdown for me in Malaysia, and it hasn't been fun.
At least when you're back over here, we share the same time zone. Where in Netherlands, we keep having this issue where when you're asleep, I'm awake. When I'm awake, you're asleep.
That is true, yeah. But at the same time, you know, even though, like now that I work Dutch hours, even though I'm in the same time zone as you, I don't actually feel that way so much, because you basically finish work at about 5 or 6, and then you're free, right? And I'm still working until 10 or 11. Yeah, and I wake up in the mornings, everyone else is busy with work while I'm sort of free. So, half there, yeah. Same time zone, but the feeling, it doesn't feel like I'm at the same time zone, for sure.
Because our previous game session, we start at 10 o'clock, right? So I think that's still doable. It's not like
doable if I want to actually do that, or whether I just want to go to sleep, you know. So, I mean, I actually did that last night because my cousins wanted to play Among Us at 10, and I was like, do I want
to... bro.
Then I was like, do I want to go to sleep or do I want to play? I ended up playing with them until 2 o'clock in the morning, which was fine. It was fun. But as a result of that, I woke up late this morning and I haven't gotten into the rhythm that I want to get into, which is sleeping early, waking up early. And I'm not really sure whether I can even achieve that. So, yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, yeah. We'll check in with each other next week as well, right? And then we'll see how things are then.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I'll catch you next week.
Talk to you soon, buddy. See ya.